Alright, so let's look at another example. Let's look at the second example so that we'll wrap up for this video. Now we have 2x squared minus 4x minus 2, and we have to solve for x. Now the same way, the same thing we did here, we'll do it here. I just want to show you something else that you can always do. Now sometimes when you're given quadratic equations to solve, the numbers may be very large. These ones are small, but the numbers may be very large. Now, one of the things you can do to reduce the numbers is you look through the three terms. Is there any number that can divide through 1, 2, 3? Is there a number that can divide through all of them? If you have a number like that, it is usually preferred or better for you to make your solving easier for you to divide through. It's not compulsory. Okay, whether you divide through or you don't divide through, you get the same answer. But just to reduce the magnitude of numbers you're working with, so that in case you're not solving with a calculator, you don't have to be doing large multiplication and division. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, divide through. You can see that 2, 2, 2 can go here. I'll divide through and get my answer. I want you as well to solve it as it is like this, and let me know in the comments if the answer is the same. All right, I'll divide it, but I want you to solve it without dividing, just straight up, and tell me if they are the same answer. So if I divide through by 2, obviously you're going to get this. Divide everything by 2. 2 will cancel out, x squared. This is 4 divided by 2 is 2x. 2 will cancel 2 out, minus 1. Anything divided by 0 is 0. So this is what we are solving. Now, the same way, in this question now, our a is 1, our b is minus 2, our c is minus 1. Okay, in this question now, for this one, we just divided through by 2 to come down to this. Now, a is 1, that's the coefficient of x squared, b is minus 2, and c is minus 1. Now, what do we do here now? First thing we did, just like we did here, multiply a by c. So we have multiplying a by c, we are going to have 1 times minus 1, which is what? Minus 1. 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Then we're going to look for factors of minus 1 that when we add, we'll get minus 2. Definitely, the only factors of minus 1 is, the only two factors of minus 1 is 1 and 1. Factors of minus 1 that give minus 2, factors of minus 1 that when you add them, you get minus 2. When you multiply them, you get minus 1, are going to be okay. So I noticed an error that the sign here should be plus, not minus. So please, I've corrected it. This should be plus 2, not minus 2. So this should be plus 1. And then if you multiply, you have 1 times 1, which is 1. So we are going to look for factors of 1, not minus 1, please. That will give you minus 2 when you add them. Okay, so please, apologies for that. I didn't write the sign. I didn't copy the question correctly. Okay, I just noticed it when I got to this point, which is why I had to go back and cross check. So this is plus 2 plus 1 times 1, 1. Then factors of 1 that will give you minus 2 when they are added are minus 1 and minus 1. Now, how? Let us be sure. Minus 1 and minus 1 are factors that when you add them will give you minus 2, because minus 1 is minus 2. If you are owing somebody 1 naira, you are owing another person 1 naira. Altogether, you are owing 2 naira. Okay, and then minus 1 times minus 1, minus times minus is plus. 1 times 1 is 1. So you come back here. So these two factors are correct. -1 minus 1 is -2. Okay, and -1, that means the addition part is correct. Then -1 times -1 is 1, which means the multiplication part is correct. So we have verified that these two factors are correct. So we use these two factors to replace b. So replacing b, we have that x squared, I remove this, so minus, remember we're replacing it with -1 and -1. So just write minus x, instead of writing -1x, you just write minus x plus 1 equal to 0. Now we have replaced this -2 with minus x, that's -1x minus 1x. Okay, then like I said, you can let's group it. You can group them to make it easier for you. Now if you have x squared here and you have x, we want to factorize. Now x is here, x is here. You pick out what is common, that's x. So if I bring out x here, this is x squared, that is xx. So if I bring out one of the x here, 1x will be left. Minus x divided by x is 1. Okay, that's factorizing. It's quite simple. There are two x's here, that is xx, x squared. If I bring out one of the x, 1x will be left. Minus this one is just 1x. So if I remove it, x divided by x is 1. Then if I come to this side, remember that this x is the same thing as 1x. Okay, although it's not written, you don't write 1x or 1b, it's just b, but there's 1 in front of it. So what is common between this and this is 1. There's 1 in front of this x and there's 1 here. So if I bring out 1, now if I bring out 1, what will be left here? If I remove this 1, definitely it's going to be x, right? If I bring out this 1, if I bring out the 1 here, or let's just say x divided by 1 is x. Anything divided by 1 is that same thing. So either you just say clean off the 1, x will be left, or you say x divided by 1 is still x. Now for this side, remember you have minus here. Minus times plus is minus. Remember that. Remember your sign. Okay, usually like this one, if the sign here is plus, the sign inside will not change, because plus times plus is still plus. But if the sign is minus, usually it will change the one here. Minus times plus is minus. Then 1 divided 1, or remove 1 from 1, is 1. Okay, so I hope you understood what I did here, so it doesn't confuse you. In this one, I said I'm repeating, there is 1 here, an invisible 1. Okay, and if you look at what is common between this and this, 1 is common. That I brought down this minus and brought out that common 1. Then if I now remove the 1 from this first part that is common, only x will be left. Minus times plus is this minus here. Then 1 divided by 1 is 1. The same thing we are doing. So like I said before, if you look, you have x minus 1, you have x minus 1. That tells us that we factorized correctly. So if you factorize and what is in these two brackets is not the same, just know there are either two problems. Either your question is originally wrong. Okay, maybe you are working on a question that cannot be factorized, or you have made a mistake along the way. So you should retrace your steps and see if you made a mistake or if that question is indeed factorizable. Now from here, we'll just bring out this one, x minus 1, this x and this minus 1, and then pick one of the ones in the brackets equal to 0, for which you can say that x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0. Both of them, we move this constant to the other side. We move the number to the other side so that x will stand alone, because we are solving for x, only x. So if minus 1 crosses, minus crossing equality sign becomes plus. Plus crossing equality sign becomes minus. So x will be equals to 1, or x is equal to 1. All right. So this is how you solve by factorization, no matter the kind of question you're given. And I want to point out something. I told you in the beginning that whenever you solve quadratic equations, you are going to get two answers. Now, the answers can be different. In this case, we have -3, -2. Different answers. Here, we say the roots are real and distinct. Let me write it here. Real and distinct. That's the first case. In case you're asked for type of roots, these ones are real and distinct. Okay, these are real numbers. They are normal rational numbers. Okay, real and distinct. Then for this question, for instance, this second question, you can see that we have the same answer. X is 1 or X is 1. So in this case, we say the roots are real and equal. The roots are real and equal. In this case, real and equal because they are the same. Then there's a third case where, for instance, if you're given a question like this, 2x squared plus 4 is equals to 0. Now, this is a question in which there is no b. As you can see, it's in this format. There is no b. And if you solve this, you will see that you will end up with something like this. I'm trying to arrive at a point. You will see that if this 4 goes here, it becomes -4. And then you have something like this. If you divide both sides by 2. And then to remove this, you have to take square root of here and take square root of here, right? If you know what I'm doing. But the point is, you will get to a point like this, where you have the square root of a negative number. And the square root of a negative number is a complex number or an imaginary number. So if it gets to a case like this, we say that the roots are what? Imaginary or complex. Okay? We say the roots there are imaginary or complex. Okay? Complex number is another part of mathematics. So these are the three types of roots we have. It came to my head now, and I wanted to mention it so I don't forget. Real and distinct. Distinct means each one is different from the other one. This is real and equal, the same. Then we also have imaginary roots, where you have the square root of a negative number. Okay, a complex number. All right. So we'll stop here for today for factorization. If you have any question you want me to solve, you can put it in the comments, or if you have any confusion about what we have done, you can put it in the comments. I will definitely go through it and reply. We have a Telegram community. The link is in this channel's description. So do well to join our Telegram community. There you can connect with other students. You can exchange questions, exchange solutions, share ideas, and also ask me your questions, because I'll be very active there to get your questions and give you answers. All right. Please don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to drop your comments, very important, and share it as well to your friends. Okay, share it on your WhatsApp status, share it to your friends, especially those in secondary school, those writing WAEC, those preparing to write WAEC, and even those in the university 100 level. It will be helpful to them. We'll keep having and doing many more videos like this, and I hope that they will be very, very useful to you. All right, so in the next video, we'll look at how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. Thank you so much. I'm Pendulum, and I will see you soon.
trendybeats.com